Two. We'll call the Newman City Council Redevelopment Agency regular meeting of March 23rd, 2010 to order, please. Please stand during the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Kelly, please.
Lord, give us the strength and the wisdom to make some good and intelligent decisions for the people of Newman tonight. Thank you and amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kelly.
Present.
Davis.
Present.
Candia.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Martina.
Present.
Mayor Caton.
Present. Declaration of conflicts of interest. Seeing none, we'll go to item 6, ceremonial matters. I believe we have 2. Item A is badge pinning of Officer Brian Elness.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of City Council. Tonight is a very exciting night for the Newman Police family. Is two very important events to bring to your attention. First off, we'd like to congratulate and recognize Sergeant Randy Richardson for a significant accomplishment in his life, and that is the earning and receipt of his bachelor's degree. So we're very proud of him for his hard work over the last several years, and sure it feels real good for him to be done. But he's not done. He's now talking about even continuing his formal education. So we're very excited about that, and congratulations, Randy. Very, very well done.
Great job, Sergeant. Excellent.
The next item is, it's always exciting when we can introduce to you a new police officer and someone we're very proud to invite into our family. And as you know, we don't take that lightly as we do have a tight-knit group and care very much about each other. I'd like to introduce you to Officer Brian Elness, who be the one in the uniform there. And welcome Brian to the department. Brian brings with him 16-plus years of experience, formerly with Ceres and Gustine, and then recently with Manteca. Some unfortunate budget situation there, so their loss was our gain with that. Also like to introduce Brian's families with him. His wife Melissa is here. His daughter Sydney, 12 years old, there in the middle. Your dad says you're this many plus 2. Is that an inside joke? I don't know. And Clay is 11. He would be the one that doesn't look anything like Brian there. And Cameron is 9. So we're very happy to have all of you here and see your dad go through this process. So, Brian, if you'd step forward, please. We're going to go ahead and do the swearing-in ceremony. One of the guys can do it, too, if they want. I trust her. You know, we've sort of done this a couple different ways, and I think, you know, you've been around long enough to know that, obviously, you know, the importance of the city council and what they represent, but even more so, no offense, it's these people out here that every day that you're going to serve, and the community at large. And although we don't have a lot of them here, we do have some. And then even more importantly, you've got to look into these 4 fine people here, and that's what's most important, as we know, to go home at night to them. So I'd like, in other words, that was a long version too. I want you to face them. Okay, when we do this. So if you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brian Elness,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
California.
the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
Without
or
any-
purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, and formally welcome you aboard. He's already been working, but Melissa's going to come forward. Are the kids going to stay out there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Mom has spoke, and Melissa will pin his badge on him.
Ow.
Wear your vest for these.
That's right, that's what I said.
Thank you. Ryan.
Welcome to the family.
Ryan, welcome to Newman. Chief, you have any further riveting news? You want?
Any news? No, sir, I'm done for now.
Okay. All right.
Cookies and milk?
Okay, we'll move on to item 7. And congratulations, Sergeant Richardson. Job well done. Proud of you. Items from the public, non-agenda items. Any member of the public wish to address the council, please step up and to the podium, state your name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Scott Pasco, 1338 Stevens Avenue. And as I said, I live on Stevens Avenue. It is the little road that connects our street, the end of our street, with Hardin Road, which is directly across the street from the high school multi-purpose room. Stevens Avenue is approximately 1 1/16 of a block long. Our neighborhood has a total of 10 houses, 6 on the north side and 4 on the south side. The folks who live on Stevens Avenue are as follows. Larry and Chris Avila, retired business owners, and who have also been involved with for years with the coaching and running of the West Side Niners youth football and other youth sports. Next to the Avilas is John and Carol Fantasia. Of course, everyone knows John is one of our past mayors, and both have also been active in other community organizations for years also. Next to the Fantasias live Dean and Kathy Harris. As you know, Dean has been the managing editor for the West Side Index for many, many years. Next to the Harrises live Chris and Kim Mendonca of Mendonca Construction. Next to the Mendonces are Mike Wellington and Mary Costa. Mike has been employed with Gallo for 25 years, and Mary's family were longtime dairy ranchers here in town. Next to Mike and Mary lives a teacher who is employed at OHS and has recently moved into the home that the Stedlers owned for many years. On the other side of Stevens Avenue is a family with a quadriplegic family member. I don't know their names, as I've only spoken to them a few times, as they are new to our neighborhood. Next to those folks lives Eva Mendonca, who has been the director of nursing staff for 25 years or better at the convalescent hospital. Next to Eva Mendonca is Scott and Lori Pasco. That's myself and my wife Lori. Lori is a past president of the Newman Women's League, and she's been involved with other organizations here in town for years. I myself am a past Grand Knight of the St. Joachim Council Knights of Columbus, and in the years past I coached youth sports here in town also for years. Last house next to me on the corner is Raquel Corona and her children, who are also lifelong residents of Newman. For many years we have had a parking problems and issues with our street being filled daily, Monday through Friday, with cars of OHS students and staff members. At times in the past, we have asked people to move their vehicles due to work being done on one of our homes, delivery trucks coming, and no place to pull up, yet only to be cursed at and screamed at and told no. Earlier this year, my wife and I were waiting on new furniture to be delivered and asked the OHS staff member who had parked in front of our home to please move, and that ended in a cursing battle also. It has been a problem, ongoing problem daily, Monday through Friday, for years. It is now out of control. After the incident yesterday that also led being cursed at by one of the OHS students, we decided we've had enough. We no longer have the privilege of, if we leave our home in the daytime, of coming home, we no longer have the privilege of parking in front of our homes anymore. So we, the residents of Stevens Avenue, we feel have contributed greatly to this city and this community, are asking the city council to immediately fix this long-time problem by installing signs and having parking by permit only Monday through Friday during school hours. After the incident yesterday, as I said, we feel that this has gone far enough, and we feel a vote this evening and report good news back to my neighborhood would be outstanding. Thank you very much.
Don't you wish government moved that quickly?
I do. I'm trying.
Obviously, it's a non-agenda item, Scott, so this council cannot take any formal action, but I think maybe staff can maybe speak with our police. I think this has been approached before, and I'm not sure that a resident-only parking is, I don't know how difficult that would be to enforce by permit only, but I know it's done other places, but maybe we can have staff look into the pros and cons of something like that. I don't know. I don't know what council's pleasure might be. Michael, something you can discuss with, I don't know. Tom, any idea? That
Haven't looked at that for a long time. Yeah.
I know it's been mentioned before,
Yeah, sure.
and
I think it was here too.
yeah, I think it was here. So again, we can't take any action on it, but we can, I think maybe staff can maybe take a look and see what even the possibility of something like that happening.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Is there anything you guys can suggest? I mean, besides roping off the whole street?
That's an option.
Yeah.
I go out every morning and rope it off. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
shouldn't,
should-
I should say
the-
unfortunately.
the-
You know,
this-
part of the problem, Scott, is it's a public roadway, so people have a right to park as long as they're parked legally, and that's, you know, so
Right.
I think,
Yeah, it has been brought up before, and we did receive a letter, I believe it was from you, Chief Miguel, right? About the cost of the signs. If that's they were like a little over $800 or whatever. You know, it's at a point where I've been in my home 21 years, and you know, there's probably 5 other folks that have been there even longer than me. It's bad now where if the city would enforce the permit, I'll pay for the signs myself. If it ultimately comes down to the issue of the 800 or whatever for the signs, I'll pay for that. I just, you know, I'm at that point.
well, again, this council cannot take any formal action tonight, but I think everybody hears what you're saying, including staff, so maybe that's something we can take a look at, and I wish I had a quick answer for you, but
Sure.
I don't.
I wish everyone. could
Yeah,
see, but
I don't,
understand.
yeah.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying, and it's unfortunate that you got into a cursing battle with a staff member. I can understand a kid, they just
Well,
do
it was
that.
me, I would never do that. It was my wife.
Yeah, but
I'll still concede it.
I'm more concerned that you know, that confrontation was had with a staff member more than
Right.
anything else, but well, I guess we can take a look and see what kind of resolution, if any, we can come up with.
Okay, so where do we go from here then? Just
Um,
right.
Staff is going to look at it, and we'll have our city attorney can do some research on the feasibility, possibility, if that's something that can be. I know it becomes a nightmare for the police department to try to enforce permit parking only, because the first resident that parks out there that doesn't have a permit and they're showing their window is going to get a ticket. They're going to be standing where you are, yelling and screaming. But I live here, and their police department say, "But you didn't have a permit hanging on your window," or whatever. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when that happens. So,
Right.
so we'll take a look at it and see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll get a letter from you guys or something.
Michael?
Under the direction of council, we can respond however you like. If you'd like to agendize something later, or if you'd like us just to respond to him in writing, again, we serve at your direction.
I know it's been an issue there before. It's been brought to council. I mean, in terms of trash and loud music during lunch hours and those kinds of things. And I'm sure if I lived there, I probably wouldn't like it either. And I might be the one out there doing the cursing. I don't know. But
Mayor, would you like maybe Chief McGill can maybe talk a little bit about what he's done in the past, or?
Chief McGill, would you like to talk about what you've done in the past?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
This is not a new issue, as Mr. Pasco's indicated. We did meet with the school district about this and a number of the residents. The school district's very supportive of this, as we feel it's a campus safety issue as well, because students that may want to avoid perhaps drug detection or weapons in their cars, they park off-site. And the school district has also tried to get staff to park in their parking lot, but as the mayor said, staff says we can park wherever we want. So the school district is very favorable to preventing parking on the street, as of course the neighborhood is. So really the bottom line comes down to it would be a bit of a handful for us, but I don't see it as something that, in general, we're supportive of the citizens' request. We're talking about a small street. Yes, you nailed it. There will be residents. It's not a matter of when, it's if. Not if, it's when that they're going to forget to put their permit. But perhaps we could get a sticker in the car window, or versus a hanging thing. Certainly, I'm not the city attorney, but there are a number of locations in lots of communities that are permit-only parking or time-sensitive. We could do something like that only during school hours, so then the permit really doesn't matter after 3 p.m. So it's only an enforcement issue during that. And the school officer's right there anyway. So we really don't see it as a huge challenge for us, and it would address some safety issues, some debris and trash, and make the community happy. And it wouldn't really impact the rest of the community, I don't think, other than, I know you always have the concern about precedents. But other than that, we're supportive.
Yeah, and I think that would be, I'm not opposed to it, but I think the next thing is going to be the residents at Hunt,
Yeah.
the residents at Von Renner,
Right.
the residents
the
at the
issue.
next new school is going to be built, so, and it may not be an issue with them right now, but it has been an issue at the high school for
Yeah.
a long time. So maybe we can take a look at it and as far as the cost, not only for the signs, but then you're talking about the permit stickers in the cars and everything
I don't
else.
remember the number. He threw out 800. I haven't looked at the letter in a while. We did, I think, got some preliminary numbers from Public Works. Is how we came up with that.
Well, Kit, would it
The
be possible,
installation.
Chief, if you could do some research on it and bring something back maybe for our next meeting for the council to take a look at? You guys concur with that?
Sure.
And see if it's something that can be done. And I certainly feel Mr. Pascal's pain, and so, we can do permit parking over there, and it's not an enforcement issue. Not a problem so much with enforcing, like everything else. You can't be everywhere at once, but maybe with signs posted permit parking only, that might alleviate a big part of the problem.
I would hope at least get the adults' attention. We would hope we'd get voluntary compliance from staff, but once it's illegal.
I would think
The
with
students may from time to time be a challenge.
maybe a few towed vehicles might get the message over too.
You never know. But we'll bring that the definite cost back to
Okay.
you, what it would cost, and then ultimately, like, the real issue is probably precedence.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's
Yeah.
the challenge for you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Chief.
Okay.
Next meeting?
No,
Nice guy.
no, Scott. What he's saying, he's going to bring some information back to us. It'd be my guess that probably action would not be taken necessarily at next meeting. We're going to explore it. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay. Any other member of the audience wish to address the council? Non-agenda item? Okay, move to item 8, consent calendar.
Mayor?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Hi, my name is William Davis. I'm city council, I'm mayor. Due to my lack of glasses, my daughter's gonna read this letter that you should all have in front of you, because, you know what, they might work, they may not. So, she will read it.
Fighting Dragons have been providing free martial arts for the city of Newman for 4 years, and the mission statement of the school is simple. The purpose of the Fighting Dragons is to put each student on the path of lifelong improvement, happiness, and inner peace, keeping all lessons totally free and to ensure every family member in the community, no matter financial status or challenge, can participate in keeping with the philosophies of Adriano Emperado and the founders of Kajikembo system. The Fighting Dragons is founded on the hope and belief that helping our children today will ensure a much greater tomorrow. With that, the Fighting Dragons will be hosting Newman's first martial arts tournament May 15th, 2010 at Yolo Middle School, with the possibility of bringing in over 1,000 visitors to our lovely city. The program has been one with no cost to our community, with instructors Sifu Bill Davis and Sifu Don Alves frequently absorbing the cost of outdated gear, promotions, and entry fees for students that may otherwise not have the opportunity to compete. The program is one of success, providing year-round classes, and just last year capturing 10 California State Championship belts. The May 15th Martial Arts Tournament will be a great opportunity to showcase the city of Newman and what it has to offer. But the truth of the matter is Sifu Don Alves and Sifu Bill Davis are in need of some financial help to execute this event flawlessly. At this time, the program has a need of $500 to cover the following for the May 15th event: $175 for one-day insurance. City of Newman cannot add GSKA Golden State Karate Association to city's policy due to multi-city coverage. $150 for food and supplies, lunch for 50 volunteers, and tournament supplies. $100 for security and paramedic coverage, parking lot, building, Newman PD, VIPs, explorers, and 2 doctors/EMTs. $75 for advertisement flyers, 5 cents a copy equals 150 flyers. Sifu Don Alves and Sifu Bill Davis look forward and have already started the planning and making this an annual event, as discussed with Mike Holland, with more of a fall fest atmosphere, with endless possibilities in creating additional revenue for the city of Newman and youth programs as we work hard today in shaping a better tomorrow. In closing, Sifu Alves and Sifu Bill Davis respectfully request assistance with funding for the May 15th tournament and the opportunity to create revenue for our city as we build for a better tomorrow. On behalf of the Newman Youth Program, Sifu Alves and Sifu Bill Davis would like to formally thank you for your support.
Kind regards, Mr. Alves, Mr. Davis.
Got it.
Thank you. So, public speaking's your thing. So at this point, I will give you the long and shorts of it. We are having a karate tournament here, Yolo Middle School, May 15th. We are in need of $500. Whether the council says yes or the council says no. If the council says no, we will pay for it out of our pockets, as we do most things. But right now, economically, we're both a little challenged, and we have promotions coming up this month, which is going to cost us about $500 already for kids who can't afford uniforms, belts. And I took martial arts for free when I was a kid. Mr. Alves did too. Someone taught us for free. That's why we teach for free. We have been honored by being asked if we would hold a tournament due to our team's competition, their level of respect and their competitiveness. People asked to have tournaments. They asked us if we would have one. So right now, we need $500 to cover the costs for this tournament. And like I said, whether you say yes or you say no, this event is going to happen. We are going to bring these people to Newman. We are putting Newman on the karate map, and we have 10 state champions from 8 to 18. So on behalf of them, I'm not asking for myself, but on behalf of them, I'm asking, can you support this? Can you help us out?
Have you done any fundraising efforts, Don?
Yes.
Bill? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Bill.
Yes,
You
we
have?
have. And actually, we have a corporate sponsor who actually funded the team for competition uniforms, which are $85 a copy, and competition shoes with pads and everything at $90 a copy, and a 16-member team. I have 150 students, but we have a competition team that goes out through Northern California and competes. And someone has already spent $2,000 making sure that these kids were dressed properly, well, in simple terms. And we've done the Seas Candy, and we're going to do car washes. And you know, if these kids compete at the level they've been competing, we're going to Lake Tahoe in October for belt championships again.
You guys were there last year, correct? If I
Yes,
remember
sir.
right?
10 out of 16 brought home belts.
That's right.
And I think all 16 of them should have brought home belts.
How many kids in the program? What?
Well, actually, we do this between Gustine and Newman.
Okay.
I have 150 on the roster. Some fade in, some fade out, some play baseball, some play soccer, some play volleyball, some play tennis. This is year round. So no matter what this child does, we're always there. We are there. And no matter what, and I have to thank the city because they have actually sponsored us with a building. We work out the Memorial Building and the Al Goman Center in Gustine. And the city of Newman charges $10 a year to these kids for lights, PG&E. The AC works and the lights turn on when we go in. And we thank them for that. So we really don't want to ask. We really like to raise the money ourselves, but we're up against the wall with this event. So on behalf of these kids, I am asking for a little bit of help. And whether you say yes or no, it's going to happen one way or the other. We're going to make this happen.
Michael, is there any funds left in the promotional fund at all? Do you know?
I think we sponsored the Police Explorers. I don't recall any other expenditures right offhand, Mayor. So that was about, I think we did 400 on that. So I cannot tell you exactly the exact amount in there. We're probably about halfway there. So
Okay.
there's going to be some funds. I just don't know exactly
Okay.
how much. I'm sorry.
Any feeling? I would certainly, if there's funds in the promotional fund, if there's any funds left, I wouldn't be opposed to help him see if we can pull this tournament off. And I'll go a step further. If there is not, I would happily donate $100.
Thank you very much.
Put me down for 100, but I was wondering where you guys have been for the last 4 years. I've been waiting for you to come up here. You guys have been running this program free of charge, a ton of kids, and
Yes,
you have
sir.
champions and everything else. How else? I mean, what a nice thing for Newman. And now you're coming, $500 is cheap
What's
to
the
me for
consensus
5
of
years.
the council in terms of if there's any funds in the promotional fund? Like obviously it's got to be a council decision.
Are there any funds left in discretional spending?
Well, that's the community
Yes,
promotions
community
fund that we're
promotional fund.
speaking about. Again, I apologize. I did not come readily with that money, with the amount that's available.
We checked
Each
that.
council member has
Yes.
X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I think it was $150.
Yeah.
I'm willing to throw my 150 at it.
Got mine.
I thought it was 300.
I believe I think there's 600 in there.
When Explorers asked for money, Ted Kelly and I gave 300 each. We were told we had 300 each.
I think it was 150 each. Stephanie, can you run and grab your budget, please? And we'll find out right now, in courtesy of how much was exactly. My understanding was, and my recollection was, there was $150 per person, per council members. Each of you gave 150. That was 300. That's the way I remember it. But
May have cut down.
I guess I'm asking from the council, if there's money in that fund, are you guys opposed to?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll find out how much money's in that fund.
right, she's going to go get her
Yeah.
budget right now, and I can tell you how much we started with, and probably where we're at. Yeah, if you can get that. She's going to run and go get the balance for us right now. If you can indulge
Take
us.
your time, Stephanie. And I would still pledge $100 support towards it myself. Okay, so she's gonna run and get those numbers for us, and we'll move on. Okay. and then
Okay,
we'll-
and just for the record, because I have a son who's an explorer, the snack bar is being given to the Newman PD Explorers for a chance for them to fundraise to go to the Explorer Academy. And the proceeds from the tournament, we are not spending on class necessarily, as we are spreading it around to Newman youth groups, and the principal and Dr. Foss have been kind enough to provide us with the building. So we are trying to give that money back to them, just so you'll know. So 1,000 people come in and pay $10 a head, that money's going back to the kids.
Good.
Great. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Okay. With that, now we'll move on to item 8. Consent calendar is, A is waive all readings of ordinances, resolution, except by title. B is approval of warrants. C is approval of minutes of the March 9, 2010 regular meeting. D is adopt resolution number 2010, next to number, declaring certain personal property surplus property and authorizing disposal and/or sale of property.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent calendar as is.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 9, is public hearings. We have one item this evening. Is item A is adopt resolution number 2010. Next number, resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Again, we have 4 properties, I believe, for you tonight. The department has exhausted all efforts in trying to abate the nuisance at each of these locations, and the property owners have been non-responsive to our request. And as such, we'd ask you to declare each of the 4 residences as a nuisance, so we can abate them. On the screen are examples of these particular properties that we're talking about. We do continue to have tremendous amount of success so with the banks and the real estate agents. Seen a little bit of a break in backyard maintenance. They're doing just the front. So a little bit of a drop there, like they're trying to cut some costs and only mow the front yards, but we still are having great success. You know, before it reaches you, it's generally about 3 letters. So, and based on the code and the time and so on, somewhere around that first, second letter, we're getting a response. So you only get the worst of the worst, basically the ones that are just been non-responsive whatsoever. But we continue to work on abatements. But we'd ask you to declare these 4 addresses: 2100 block of Creek Park, 1400 block of P, 700 block of Banff, and 1100 block Wisteria Way as a nuisance.
Any questions on the chief before I open the public hearing? Okay, I'll declare the public hearing open. Any member wish to address the council regarding this issue? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council for direction.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2010 declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4. All the properties.
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I'll go to item 10, regular business. A is first reading and introduction of ordinance number 2010, next to number, ordinance amending Title 9, police regulations prohibiting the consumption of alcoholic beverages in public.
Good evening, Officer Borden will be presenting this item to you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, members of the
Spotlight.
council. I have the honor of introducing an ordinance prohibiting the consumption of alcoholic beverages in public. The current ordinance we have prohibits the consumption of alcoholic beverages in the parks, but it does not prevent it from being consumed in other areas of the city like alleyways, streets, sidewalks, and places like that. Consumption of alcoholic beverages is a frequent problem in various cities of location like Main Street. I see that frequently when in my normal patrol duties. The police department frequently receives complaints regarding these issues. The proposed ordinance will make it illegal to consume alcoholic beverage in areas of the city such as parking lots, streets, alleyways. State law does not prohibit consumption of alcoholic beverages in public places, require the local communities to make determination. The new ordinance provides that anyone consuming alcoholic beverages in public, unless special permission is granted, is guilty of a misdemeanor or an administrative violation. Staff recommends the approval of the introduction and first reading of proposed ordinance number 2010. Staff will present the proposal in the form of a public hearing at the next city council meeting on April 13th, 2010. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions of Officer Boyd? Good job. Seeing no, anybody with any questions, council direction?
I so move for approval of introduction of first reading ordinance number 2010, next number, an ordinance prohibiting the consumption of alcoholic beverages in public.
I second it.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good job. Good. Item B, first reading and introduction of ordinance number 2010, next to number, an ordinance eliminating the time limit on accruing debt and extending the time limitation for the effectiveness of redevelopment plan and the repayment of debt for the Newman redevelopment project.
Thank you, Mayor. That's our planner's report. I'm going to buy a little bit of time because she gave me some preliminary information, and Councilmember Davis was correct. There was $1,500 budgeted in community promotions. At this time, we're only showing $192.74 available, but what she went to do was go out and print out the summary of where those funds were expended. Sometimes things get miscoded or other things that we want to see where the rest of that money went. So again, we're showing $192.74 available, but give us a moment to actually look at the details of some of those things. I believe the mayor does host an event here for all mayors. I believe that's part of community promotions that they go into that. So we're going to look and see what all those expenditures are. So if you could just maybe bear with us for just 1 or 2 minutes.
Sure.
While we collect that data. If you'd like, we can maybe take a break and I can run over there and help her out, or I don't know how you want to.
Break? Okay, we'll take, maybe not.
Here she comes.
You're very efficient, young lady.
Thank you. And then maybe we move on to item 10B. That'll give me a chance to look over this real quick.
Let's move to item 10B, first reading. I've already said that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, Stephanie, you want time to catch your breath?
Okay.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is ordinance 2010, next to number, amending the RDA redevelopment plan. In 1992, the council adopted the original redevelopment plan. In 1994, the council amended the plan to include time limit language in response to AB 1290. In 2001, SB 211 was passed allowing a community to amend the pre-1994 plans, which we have, and eliminate the debt incurrence limit set by AB 1290. In order to do this, an agency must simply pass an ordinance like the one before you. No noticing or public hearings are required. With this amendment, the tax sharing agreements with Stanislaus County, the Board of Education, the Community College District, the School District, the Mosquito Abatement District will continue to operate as usual. However, due to the Health and Safety Code Section 33607.7, the elimination of the agency's debt incurrence limit would require that the following taxing agencies receive pass-through payments. That's Stanislaus County Fire, Hills Ferry Cemetery District, West Stanislaus Fire, Westside Community Hospital District, the CCID, West Stanislaus Resource Conservation District, and the City of Newman, which is optional. Furthermore, SB 1045 allows the city to extend the RDA's ERAF payment by 1 year. To do this, an ordinance must also be passed. Overall, the ordinance before you will eliminate the time limit for incurring debt and extend the time limit for plan and repayment of debt. Additionally, adoption will require the agency to make statutory payments to 7 agencies, thus creating 7 new pass-through agreements in 2012. Given that the amendments should be adopted prior to the overall 2010 amendment, which will be on the agenda in May, staff recommends approval of ordinance 2010 as a number. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Stephanie? If not, council direction, please.
I'll make a motion. We approve the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2010, an ordinance eliminating the time limit on accruing debt and extending the time limitation for effectiveness of redevelopment plan and the repayment of debt for the Newman redevelopment project.
Second that motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Michael, you have enough?
Sure, if you'd
Time?
like to maybe move back to that item.
Okay.
So, again, we've expended $1,307.26 out of that account. The original $600 that the two council members donated to the Explorers was part of it. And again, I apologize, Councilmember Davis, you were right. It's $300 per. It's the way it worked out. We do a fall festival ad as part of the fall festival event. That was $337. The County Healthy Choices Calendar Project was $250. That's the majority of the money there, $600, $337, and $250. There was approximately $25 that was expended to put together the frame and proclamation for Mr. Walter Newman. That was part of it. There was $7 spent on some West Side CD tours on their speakers, and then there was $21 that was spent on supplies for travel and tourism when we had the West Side tour CD program. So that's where our money's gone for the community promotions at this time.
So the balance of 192.74 stands. That's what we have.
Those are the expenditures that add up
Okay.
to the 1307.26.
Okay. My offer still stands to donate $100 of my personal money. So that brings it to 292.74.
Put me down for 100.
That makes it 392.74.
Mayor,
Yes.
on behalf of the Canine Association, we would like to sponsor you with $100 for anything to help support youth of Newman.
$492.74.
Mayor, I'll personally give $50.
It's covered. Okay. So that covers the $500. So checks in the mail. No, I will get probably tomorrow. Come down to City Hall and there'll be an envelope in my mailbox with your name on it. Okay. All right.
I'll do the same thing. Okay. Who do I make it out to? The
Bill. Bill. In terms of a person writing a check, who's it go out to?
You can make it out to Don Alves.
Okay. All right. So I got council concurrence then that the remaining 192.74 can be donated for that cause?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
On behalf of the children of Newman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go win.
Moving on. We'll go to item C, council review and direction on draft letter to County Board of Supervisors regarding public facility impact fee study.
Thank you, Mayor, member of council. I spoke a little bit about this at our last meeting. The county has undergone a public facility impact fee study. This has been an ongoing project for about 2 years, and they've expended a lot of time and energy on this particular project. We have been attending their meetings and other meetings within the county, and some involve the county, some do not, regarding these fees and their impact on us as cities and as residents and as businesses. Tonight before you, I have a draft letter that I have prepared. This item was originally scheduled to go to the County Board of Supervisors, the impact fee study, for a public hearing on March 30th. The public facility fee will still go forward. At this point in time, they are removing the regional transportation impact fee. That's the RTIF that you see in my letter. That has been removed from consideration, at their March 30th meeting. So I have prepared that letter for you. Let me go ahead and pass out a packet for you for your reading. This was a letter that was mailed out by the CEO of Stanislaus County, Mr. Richard Robinson. And again, that's just making sure there's an indication on there. On the second page is a letter from all the city managers to the county expressing some of the issues that we had with the public facility fee program and asking them to table the transportation fee so that we could have some discussions about how to potentially implement a regional transportation fee that's equal countywide. One thing that we as a community are trying to do is remain economically not be disadvantaged with that. So we want to be economically competitive. And by us collecting two sets of fees in our county and the cities that do that, we then become at a disadvantage to jurisdictions that only collect one fee. So that's an issue on there. The other issue, and that's the minor issue, as you look at my letter, one of the main issues that, as your city manager and members of your staff had, was this regional transportation impact fee. Now, for those of you who are the public who may not be aware of this, when a new house or a new business, a new building is constructed, the owner or the developer has to pay an impact fee, and those impact fee covers lots of different items. Transportation in our impact fee system, we have like water, sewer, storm drainage, transportation, police, fire. County also has health services, jails, libraries. So there's a plethora of fees that are collected. And what that goes towards is expanding the buildings that house those services. It only goes for capital projects. It doesn't go for operations and maintenance. Again, it's a one-time fee. Part of going through that process, you have to do a fee study, which requires you to establish what is called a nexus. You have to be able to tie the impact of your building or residence or whatever you're constructing to the project you're collecting the fees for that you want to fund. An issue that we have expressed, and you'll see it in the letter, is the RTIF, which is again the Regional Transportation Improvement Fee, has three particular categories. There's road projects in the county, there's signal projects in the county, and there's state highway projects, again in unincorporated areas of the county. For the road fees alone, the amount of money anticipated to be collected is about $412 million. Of that, they anticipate expanding $316,000 on the North County corridor, which it basically extends from Highway 99 on the north side of Salida to Oakdale, up in that general vicinity up there. There's also two new state highway intersections that are also being promoted out of this fee program for another $132 million. One of the issues as your city manager, and as I consider my duties to, one is protect our residents and our businesses and make sure we're economically competitive again. I have a hard time justifying when we collect those fees to the residents and the businesses that want to come here, that the North County project, they have an impact on it. So that's one of our concerns as your staff, that when we go to justify that fee and collect that fee, that there's no direct nexus on there. And we don't believe that the study actually provides that nexus either. I want to make it absolutely clear, the city of Newman, and the mayor can speak a little bit about this, we support a regional transportation system. We actually believe that's important to our county. As city managers, we are working more closely together to try to figure out how we can stay economically competitive but not cannibalize each other. Not only do we compete with other cities in this county, we compete with other cities in the whole state. And that's the challenge right now. If jobs move into Stanislaus County, whether they be here or Patterson or Turlock, that's good for our county as well. Better than if they were to locate some other part of the state. So we just wanted to go back, and we are asking the county to consider putting a 60-day hold on that, which they've done at this point in time. So I'd like to thank the county for that. As you look into the last paragraph of my letter, and I think specifically, I talk about the three nexuses that the nexus that has to be established under the Mitigation Fee Act, and again, there has to be a benefit relationship, there has to be a burden relationship, and there has to be proportionality. Meaning, in this particular case, the county just wants one fee that goes across no matter where you're at. It's still a hard time finding out that if someone wanted to develop a gas station here, it's $6,000 per pump for a gas station. So at this point in time, if Manish wanted to construct his new, let's say who's constructing his facility for new, just the pumps alone is $50,000 in impact fees. We believe that any new businesses and industry that comes into our community actually reduces the impact on county infrastructure. Right now, as you know, most of our residents have to go outside our community for goods and services. We're just still a small community, and we're trying to get more goods and services here. So if we provide more goods and services to our residents, they would have less of a need to travel to outside communities to get that, like Turlock or Modesto. So we believe that actually reduces the impact on there. So with that being said, the last line of the sentence, I think, is and I want to talk to you a little bit about how we word that finally, but we have a 2-decade-old agreement with the county right now that says they'll collect our fee for any development that occurs in our sphere of influence, which is basically out the Stir Road to the north, the canal to the west, and Stir Road as it connects to Hills Ferry. They will collect our county fee for any development that occurs in that area, which at times there are, probably since I've been here 8 years or so, we've probably done that maybe 8 times, maybe more, maybe a few more, but not very many. The counter is we've also agreed to collect their fees for development that occurs in here. I can tell you we've collected over $5 million of fees for the county since I've been here, which is a significant amount of money. So when we look at the RTIF and we're contributing to these projects, we want to know, well, where's those benefits to our residents and to our businesses? When I looked at the report, there's only one project west of the San Joaquin River that might even have a minimal impact on us, and that is actually the bridge on Crow's Landing Road that crosses the river. The fee study proposes to enlarge that to 3 lanes. I'm not sure how 3 lanes would benefit us, but 3-lane bridge is what they're proposing. Also, they are proposing to widen Crow's Landing Road from Highway 33 in Crow's Landing up to the bridge and up past, probably up to about Keys, Grayson area, up in that area, and they would widen that to 3 lanes. And there's also a few traffic signals that would go on Crow's Landing Road. At this point in time, those are the only projects that are even, which I think really have a direct benefit to our residents and businesses at this point in time. Now, I'm sure there are others, and we can talk about regionality and what's good. There are projects between West Main, on Main Street between, I don't know, Faith Home and Carpenter, maybe even out to Los Palmas. Our residents don't tend to use that stretch. So with that being said, the final sentence, I think if you read that, should the county elect to move forward with adoption of the fee structure at this time, the city will have no choice but to invoke the termination clause of our agreement to collect those public facility fees on behalf of Stanislaus County. It's worded very strong. It was obviously intended to get some attention. I think that and the letter that came from the city managers has the county at least rethinking it. I worded it strongly. The council, at your direction, may choose to soften that. You can soften that, but the city of Newman may invoke the clause, would look at it under that clause. There are other things within that agreement that we can talk about at a later date. I'm not sure that they're prudent at this time. That starting to lead us to believe that maybe the county hasn't agreed and may have violated some of those clauses within that agreement. But I would need to work with our city attorney because, this agreement doesn't surface all the time. So when you get a hot button, you look at it and you really start reading it and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know if that's really happening. So I'll have to talk to our city attorney about that and bring that or issue back to you. So I know I've talked a lot about this and I've kind of jumped around a little bit, but at this point I want to just turn it over to the council and let you ask me questions or get some direction from you on how you would like to proceed at this time.
Well, Michael, it concerns me that the fee structure doesn't benefit our city. And I'm wondering why, when they're reviewing these fee structures, they don't take that into consideration, because if they want us to be on board, to be part of this, then we should benefit from it.
And that's one of our concerns. Stir Road used to be in the transportation fee. Stir Road from I-5 out to Highway 33 to our community used to be part of the fee. It's no longer part of there. So those are some of the questions that we've asked. County's been good to work with. I mean, they've always been professional and courteous. They haven't always answered our answers to the liking that we'd like, but we'd like to, hopefully take the next 60 to 90 days and, again, pose those tough questions and ask why this is not occurring. But Bob, you're exactly right. Where is the direct nexus and benefit and the direct relationship and the proportionality of that the fee that we're going to be paying versus the benefit that we get? I can't help, and I know our supervisor's here, and he may agree and he may not, but when you open up Crow's Landing Road, those improvements just happen to stop where West Park's going to start. Is that coincidence? I don't know. I'm not saying that they did that on purpose, but you have to think about that. I mean, and I'm not accusing the county of doing it, but those are some of the thoughts that go through our mind that we want answers to. And, and that's a big development. When you see the traffic pattern for that particular project, it's going to blow up this whole west side. So I think these are some of the questions that we would like answered, and we'd like to sit down at the table and be able to directly ask those questions and have the county directly answer them for us.
Mike, what is the negative of if we resign from it?
Well, it was sour, I'm sure, the relationship.
Okay.
I think the new CEO, Mr. Robinson, has done an excellent job. He's been very supportive of our community. I think there was a little frustration maybe on his part because I sent him an advance copy of the letter. I didn't want it. I wasn't trying to hide anything. Once the packets went out, he got the copy of it once the packets went out. And he called me and expressed his disappointment because we as Newman, and when I sit as the chairman of the Management and Finance Committee of StanCog, we talk a lot about regionalization, and the county's gone to bat for us a couple of times about helping us get additional funding and setting floors so that we have viable projects and we have enough money to do those, and we appreciate all that. But we don't want to mix apples and oranges. I mean, we still believe in a regional approach. We're just not sure that this is the correct way to collect the fee. We're just not sure that the methodology that they're proposing is the correct methodology. Maybe there's a way that they could do districts where, you carve out a west side area and the improvements in that particular district are the ones you help fund. So maybe our impact fee for transportation is a little bit lower than those in the North County area. Mm-hmm. We're not benefiting from that. Yeah. So, the argument can be made, well, at some point in time, there'll be a South County corridor. And for those of you who were around when the transportation tax measure came through, there's a South County corridor that's being planned, and it would extend from Turlock to I-5 north of Patterson. And that's great. I'm sure there'll be some impact or some benefit to us but it's not a direct benefit like Patterson or Turlock. But we support those connections for reasons of moving goods and services throughout and trying to help us. But does that mean when that occurs 20 years from now, how do we know that the North County is going to support that? So I don't know. There's just questions that still need to be answered.
I think you have to ask the question.
Any comments or questions of Michael? Is everybody satisfied with the letter and the tone of the letter?
Yeah.
And I'll just say that, in some of our mayor's meetings and as well as StanCog, there's been a lot of discussion. And I know that the North County corridor system, it has not been an easy task for the people who are dealing with on that end of the county. But I have to agree, though, that it's nice that we like to think that we all can play fair, play nice to each other, but obviously we need to look out for our best interests for our community, and I don't necessarily agree that the current, like Mike said, the current methodology that's used in determining those numbers are completely fair to our community. I would hope that there'd be more dialogue, though, with Rick and his office and the board, and that it'll be looked at, and they're going to take the 60, 90 days to review it, and if it does come back to be a StanCog issue, hopefully there'll be some concurrence even on that board, that it be that the agreements are fair and equitable across the board, so, and I think that's what Michael's trying to stress, that, our city needs to be protected, and how much impact is the North County corridor going to have on Newman? Zero. But we support, the efforts of the county to try to regionalize and do everything together and work together. But anyway, if there's no other questions, if everybody is satisfied and everybody concurs with the letter as written, then let's proceed on.
Mayor, if I may, based upon receiving the letter from Mr. Robinson, I will probably change that first paragraph slightly because they've already respectfully postponed it, maybe thanking them for postponing it. Also, unless otherwise directed by this council, I do plan to show up at their meeting and again make our thoughts known as the city manager of the city and on behalf of the council about the regional transportation fee.
I'm going to try also to make that meeting myself, if I can, on the 30th, which is a Thursday. So I'll let you know, Michael. Okay. So, any other questions? Comments? All right. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Works out perfectly. Item 11, item from District 5 Supervisor Jim DeMartini.
Good evening, Mayor Keaton, council members. We did receive the copy of the letter already, so that's why you got the response. We are, listening to the cities. We'd like to have consensus on these fees. So, as your city manager said, this item has been pulled from our agenda, at least this portion of it, the regional transportation fees. There doesn't seem to be opposition to the fees for the libraries and the jails and the other things. So we're comfortable in pulling this item and trying to work out a resolution. Probably take 2 or 3 months. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to StanCog to work this out. Maybe regions might be the best. We had just a short meeting yesterday at the county, and where we did bring this up, and we thought, well, we'll take a look at regions too. This item, this portion of it is pulled. So I don't know where it'll go. I know ever since the sales tax measure failed, we've been trying to get the North County corridor done, and there isn't enough money, so no one wants to pay for it. We do look, in the county as regional projects, and projects, as you know, are very expensive to do, and there's very limited amount of money. So I can see your concern where the benefits for Newman for money spent in the North County corridor is pretty nil. So anyway, we'll take this up next week, and at some point we'll reach some kind of resolution on it. The county will work for the cities. As I said, we've got letters from city managers. City of Patterson has sent a letter, and of course the city of Newman's already sent. Well, we already got a copy of the letter. So anyway, not to worry about it. I'm sure we'll work it out. We're all friends here, and we're going to work for the common good. It's just the discussion on what's the best way to do it. So anyway, let me go on to the other things. The West Side Healthcare Task Force will be meeting not for another month. They will be meeting on the 29th of April in Gustine this time. And although we haven't had a meeting this will probably be about 2 months between meetings, or 2.5. We do have some things going. We have the hiked and biking tours, and in fact, I'm going to go to one myself this weekend in Del Puerto Canyon, and the bike tours are one of them has already happened. There's one on April 17th. One on May 15th, and another one on June 19th. And this is part of our Healthy Choices campaigns. As you got the calendar up in the wall, this is one of the projects for the Healthcare Task Force. But besides the bicycle rides, there is hikes in Del Puerto Canyon. And the first one will be on March 27th, which will be this Saturday, and then the next one April 24th, and then May 22nd. They start at 10 o'clock up at the Menair Day Use Center, which is at mile 13 on Del Puerto Canyon Road. And I've lived here since 1980, and I have not yet done any hiking up in that area before. So this looks like a nice spring day. So I'm going to go up there along with my wife too, and we're going to go along with the tour. The lead agency on this is the Patterson Recreation Department, who is going to provide the tour. So it's supposed to be a relatively easy walk, probably last about 2 miles, or 2 hours. I don't know how many miles it's going to be, but 2 hours. So anyway, that if you're interested in maybe going up to the Diablo Range and doing a little hiking on an organized event, that might be just a thing for you. So this program is new, and it's from the Healthcare Task Force with our calendar that we have, where we're promoting healthier lifestyles, exercising, eating right, quitting smoking, all these things, along with trying to bring better health care to the West Side with medical equipment, the specialists and doctors, and extended hours of clinics. So I hope this is very successful, and I'm kind of interested in going on this myself. And on the more sadder note, and I know that the council knows this, the Orristimba Creek Flood Control Project has suffered another delay in the Corps of Engineers' efforts to create additional work for itself. They have now want more core samples and studies for a levee next to the CCID canal. This is disappointing because there's been so much work into this. We did have a project. We were trying to meet the deadline to get the funding. I got a letter from Congressman Cardozo's office through D.D. Diadamo with this additional scope of work that the Corps of Engineers has to do. We will not meet this deadline, and we will go into next year now, plus the additional cost. We can come up with the money for the additional cost, but it's just a disappointment that the project is set back even further while they're doing this additional studies. And just at the time when you think that you can't possibly study this project anymore than what it's already been done, something new has come up. So the project essentially is still the same in what its scope, and it's the levee around Newman. But the placement of the levee is in question now. And we're talking about whether or not we're going to use the CCID canal as the levee and build it up a little bit, or have a space in between the canal and make a separate levee. But if a separate levee was turned out to be the project, now they want to study the soil content 60 feet from the canal, which is disappointing to say the least. But we've been disappointed so many times already that I guess one more time isn't going to make it any worse than what it already is. But it is what it is, and the project still goes forward. There still is the funding for it. What's unfortunate is that the funding for projects is only every 2 years. So we missed this deadline. We still have enough money to go to design, but the construction will be delayed.
For what it's worth, the congressman called me yesterday, and we discussed the creek project. He was not aware that the Corps had changed its deadline. He was quite disappointed. And I told him that because they're not going to meet the June deadline, that it was now going to be January of 2011, that we're going to miss the WARDA. And I wasn't quick enough to ask him when that next WARDA funding would come along. It could be 2 to 5 years possibly. It's not necessarily every 2 years from what I was told. However, the congressman told me that the colonel is a very good friend of his. And he didn't make any promises and didn't say he could really change anything, but he was going to make some phone calls yesterday and today, including Feinstein and some other people. I don't know that he's going to be able to change anything. And I told him that we're frustrated and disappointed that everybody at the local level, including the city and the county, has really been busting their butts to make these deadlines and get everything done that the Corps has requested of us, including the bore samples, which we thought was not necessary to have as many as they requested. But be as it may, we were prepared to go forward and get those done. So I told him that a lot of time, a lot of effort has been spent, and I was disappointed that this has been going on for so long. I was afraid it's going to fall on the back burner, and because it was hot and heavy, and since it was a high project for the Corps to get it done, then all of a sudden for them to say, well, they're just not going to do it by June, I said it really kind of took the wind out of our sails. So he assured me that he was going to do everything he could to try to get some answers, and I'm hoping that he'll call me tomorrow and let me know if he's been able to make any headway. According to Dee Dee, when I talked to her, it was pretty much a done deal that the Corps was not going to be able to change their timeline. But I don't know how much influence a congressman has on the Corps.
I don't know. They seem to have a mind of their own, and you kind of wonder if they're just not trying to create a job for themselves.
Yeah.
And they don't. To them, whether they get the project done now or in January, I mean, doesn't seem to matter to them. And we have worked with them, plus other groups too, like the Fish and Game and Fish and Wildlife and Nature Conservatory and the Water Resources Board, and the city and the county, and putting all this group together and coming up with a project and getting to where we think we've got it, and then we got to study something else, and we think we've got it, and then we have another setback, and I thought sure we had it this time, and then they really came out of nowhere with this core samples and moving this levee over. So I don't know. We just I believe it's been 12 years now, and millions of dollars spent on studies and and the studying from everything from sycamore trees of frogs to water hydration and it's just disappointing, but the project is still there. It's still moving forward. It just has another 6-7 month delay. So anyway, that's disappointing. We really are unable ourselves to do anything about it. Perhaps Congressman Cardoza can, but that remains to be seen.
I guess we'll see how powerful he really is. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the bad news. So that's the end of my report. Remember, the Healthcare Task Force has that hike and bike for your health. So, and I did forget to mention that this is the schedule for this is published on the Healthcare Task Force website, which is www.westsidechoices.com.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, we'll go to item 12, items from the city manager and staff. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we passed out a letter and we put it in your package. A letter that was written by a couple from New Jersey, and it was a very nice letter that commended our fire department. We're in the process of trying to contact them, and just we may just black out their names, but put the letter on our website. I think it's important for people to see what kind of, even though we're a volunteer fire department, to see what kind of response that occurred here. And just to summarize the story for the residents who do watch this, our fire department responded to a rollover off of I-5. It was a young couple who was on their honeymoon from New Jersey, on their way to Disneyland late at night. As you know, it was around they indicated it's around Shields Road. The terrain over there's undulations, went off the road, rolled many times. The gentleman, I believe, suffered a broken neck and skinned-up arm, had to be medevaced out. The lady was pregnant at the time. But they had nothing but good things to say about our fire department, so they actually wrote a thank you letter to them. Also, this lady is an author, a writer, who took the time to write a story and publish it, and it actually went out into a women's international magazine journal as part of that. So I think that's good kudos for our fire department. So we're going to try to get that a letter and or book on our website so our residents can see that, and then hopefully maybe the West Side Index will pick up on the story and run with it a little bit and do a little story again to give our guys some coverage. April 13th, we will be coming back with some boat enforcement options that you requested. I know you guys are excited about that, but just thought I'd remind you on that. Yeah. April 2nd, which is the Friday before Easter, will be a city furlough day, so City Hall will be closed. I know David's here, and he didn't get up and say it, but March 31st, chamber luncheon for those members of the council who are interested. That'll occur here in town. And then on 3:30, I will be attending the Board of Supervisors meeting. And then on this Thursday, the mayor and I and our Public Works Director, Garner Reynolds, and our police chief will be attending the League of California Cities dinner on behalf of the city in Modesto. With that, I can answer any questions that you may have.
Questions of the city manager? Thank you. Chief, Garner, Sergeant Richardson, Stephanie, anybody?
Just a couple things to report out. Also, happy to just mention as well, Officer Edgar Gonzalez recently received a commendation for his work on the graffiti spree, I guess, that we had in February. He just would not quit up until just last week, and finally rounding up the last person. And additionally, he recently had potentially very violent encounter with a mentally person suffering from mental illness, having some flashbacks from their military experiences. He was able to relate his own military experiences and talk the person down. So, very impressed with his work on both of those cases for his short experience with us. So, wanted to let you know about that. Remind everybody the Canine Association Crab Feed is April the 24th, I believe, Saturday. And tickets are available from obviously the canine officers. A number of people in the city have them, several businesses. Of course, you can stop by the police station as well. A couple of just little side things, really sort of off-duty things. Just proud of our officers. It's just been a good week, the last couple of weeks. 3 officers, Sergeant Brett Short, Edgar Lopez, and Miguel Villalobos completed the half marathon Sunday in the Modesto Marathon. They ran the half. Did Miguel run the full? No, they all 3 half, I believe. City manager's wife ran
1.5, right? Total.
She ran the whole thing?
whole thing.
And she made the paper too.
Did she? I didn't even. God.
So we're happy and proud of them for doing that. And then this Saturday, a group of 15 from the police department and associated with the police department will be running in the I think it's called the Big Sur mud run, and it's a benefit run as well. It's a military style thing, running through mud and head to toe you come out dirty. So a group of 15, including the explorers, will be headed over for that. So we're looking. I guess we're looking for it. So I'm not quite sure yet, but we're doing it one way. It's our second year. We went last year as well. And then a reminder, May 1st, we have our next animal control clinic. It's a great opportunity for those in the community. Spay and neuter your pets. Spay and neuter your pets. Discounted vouchers available that day. Rabies vaccination, parvo, etc. So licensing at Pioneer Park, 9 a.m. May 1st. Please stop by. And the last thing is a disappointing announcement, but we have to cancel. We have a Citizens Academy scheduled, I believe, sometime in May or later in April, late April, I believe. We're going to have to cancel for lack of interest. So we're just gauging to see if there was enough interest to do 2 a year. It looks like more likely there may be an annual event, so we'll try again in the fall and see if there's interest to put that on again. Other than that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Chief? Thank you. Garner?
I did have a few items, actually. The downtown Newman Plaza project is out to bid. It will be advertised in Thursday's paper, as well as up and down the valley in the builders exchanges. With the bids coming in, I believe it's May 6th. So probably start getting a lot of questions. There's going to be an article in the paper coming up on that. We did get a large rash of graffiti again, and we've been out there taking care of that pretty quickly. And then one last item I had was the Downtown Improvement Day was previously scheduled for April 3rd. That's been moved to April 17th due to some scheduling conflicts. The flyers should be coming out soon. Matos newspapers are going to be helping us with the flyers, and we'll be distributing those to you. If you're more than willing to participate, be happy to have you out there.
Great.
If you have any questions of me, I'll be happy to answer them.
Questions of Garner?
Hey, Gardner, will that just be the tree wells, or will it include the tree wells?
It's going to be the pots this time. Is
Okay.
what we're looking at. It's just the downtown pots with the flowers in them and things.
Okay.
We already are using some of the volunteers, so to speak, from the police chief to help take the weeds out of the tree wells, and then we're going to be working on those at the next go around.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Garner, I just have one thing. There's
Yes, sir.
still some graffiti on the sound wall on Fig Lane, on the Marquez Manor.
The very light colored.
Yeah, it's
graffiti,
kind of
right.
a
We were trying to take care of the section on 33
Yeah.
first because it's most
Yeah.
visible. Then they were moving to Fig Lane
great.
next.
Okay,
But
thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie, anything this evening? No. Sergeant Richard, anything?
No, I'll pass.
Okay. Nick, councilmember comments.
Not really. The only thing I noticed on my way home today was our Newman sign is up on I-5 now.
It is.
Yep.
There you go, Jim. Yeah.
We checked it the other night, it wasn't up.
No, it must have went up today,
Oh,
Yeah,
because
because
it wasn't there yesterday.
that's,
Yeah.
was there Sunday, I think.
great.
Yeah.
Well, supervisor asked me about today, and I told him no because it wasn't there Saturday. So
It's there today.
great. That's great.
That's it.
Government does move a little bit quicker.
Amazing.
Bob?
The only comment, Sergeant Richardson, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, that's great.
Good job.
That's all I have.
Roberta?
I don't have anything.
Councilman Kelly?
I have a few things here, please. It's with regret that I hand in my resignation tonight, and I just want to say thank you very much to everyone in Newman. I've had a wonderful run here. It's been a pleasure representing you on the council, and if you don't mind, Ms. Mayor, I'm just going to read a few names that have been mean a lot to me from this town. And Jim Silvera, John Fancini, I can't even talk. Tim Parker, Phyllis, my redheaded friend, Dave, definitely, Kent, Lorna, definitely, Bob McConnell, what a character, and Mike Cranklow, Manny Caton, who knew too much about this town, Vicky and Rich Jimenez, who are my neighbors and just wonderful people, and have supported me on this whole thing. And Dan and Sue Cope, same thing. Tom Applegate, another one, workers. Kathy and Paul Wallace. Jim Martini, definitely Jim. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You're a great representative for this area. Susan Madison, Bill Mattis, Dean, of course, Julie, Patty and Bob Nova, Ferris and I think it's Paul or Dave? Dave. And they do a wonderful job there. Keith Boggs is just an unbelievable resource. He's excellent. Rick Foss, of course. And then Nick, Roberta, Bob. And special thanks to Ed and to Mike and your staff especially. All you folks out here, Adam and Steph and Lauren, and the people that report to you. Excellent job. This city looks better than any city I go into or drive around. So thank you very much, and please tell them that. But thank you very much, Newman. I will miss you, but this little thing has won my heart, and so I've got to get back there. But thank you. Mike, I'll miss you too. You've done a nice job for me, buddy. Thank you.
Ted, thank you so much. And Ted's letter indicates that effective after the end of tonight's meeting, his resignation will take effect. So you're going to be missed, and your sense of humor and your insight and wisdom is going to be greatly missed. And,
thank you.
For I'll use the term loosely, newcomer, outsider coming into our community and getting involved the way you did is certainly you should be commended for that, and I appreciate your input as a council member. You've been a great asset to the council and the city.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just conclude. I was just going to mention what was I going to mention? I was going to mention talking with Congressman Cardoza, but we've already covered that. Tomorrow I get the great fortune of I'm going to participate in the Mayors for Meals program through the Howard Training Center. I was asked to participate, and it's a nationwide event, and so I'm going to have lunch with the seniors tomorrow at the McConnell Center, and I'll be out delivering meals to those who are not able to go to the center themselves and get their meals. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that and out delivering meals throughout the community. So I'll be doing that tomorrow till about 2 o'clock, I guess. And with that, I look forward to attending the Central Valley Division quarterly meeting with the staff members. And it's unfortunate. I wish the rest of you were able to attend that. It's a great time to interact and talk with other council members and throughout the area. So, but anyway, hopefully we'll get some good information from that and bring back to the council. So, with that, we're going to join into closed session. Item A is Public Employee Personnel Evaluation, City Manager, Government Code 54957. We're adjourned closed session. And congratulations.